and I'm going to send you an invitation. Okay, I'm going to email it to you right now. Folks, apologize. Technical difficulties. We are learning all the time. And I'm going to get Shelly back on the horn right now, hopefully. And so we can take your questions. We can finish our discussion about this really interesting thing about possibly Alexander the Great's body instead of Mark's in St. Mark's.
Okay, David, can you hear? Oh, there we go.
I can hear you. Do you see the email?
Yeah, it
Okay.
just now came. It was just a delay, I guess.
Okay, go ahead and join. I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to hang up on you on X.
Okay.
Hey, folks, I see there's a few of you joining. I am really sorry about the hang up on the other live stream. There was a preset time, and for whatever reason, it just cut us off. Shelly is rejoining. I'm going to add her to the stage here. Hey, Shelly, welcome back.
Hi.
Hopefully, we will gather some of the other people back. I already see some of them joining. But if not, what I'll do is I will take this and I will post it to the comments of the other video so that people can catch it. Let me check right now. I'm checking on X where I'm live. Open live video. Okay, so we got a few people joining. So we just wanted to catch back up. We were talking about St. Mark's body and the possibility that maybe it is Alexander the Great, and you were talking about maybe some of the evidence for that. If you want to continue on there, I see Simplify Life has joined us again.
Okay. I don't know where I was, so I'll just start over. But yeah, so it was Andrew Chugg. He's a scholar, a pretty well-respected scholar, who has put this theory forward that instead of stealing the body of St. Mark, as these Phoenicians thought, that they actually stole the body of Alexander the Great, and that it's Alexander the Great who now lies in the tomb beneath St. Mark's Basilica. And he put forth, like David said, the things that were found in the excavations under the basilica that kind of seemed like they matched up with things that might be associated with Alexander the Great. Some convincing evidence there. And the fact that old sources said that when St. Mark was martyred, that his body was also burned. That's another argument he uses. And he uses the argument that as Christianity was on the rise in Alexandria, and that as the Christians started doing away with pagan sites, that in order to preserve the body of Alexander the Great, that someone said, no, this is not Alexander, this is St. Mark. And then that kind of stuck. So those are some of his main arguments. And
well, let me ask you this. So at the time, the Muslims were sweeping through Egypt and destroying, non-Muslim things, basically, right? So wouldn't they have destroyed also Christian items? So why would they be concerned about Alexander the Great over St. Mark? And why would disguising him as St. Mark protect him? I would still think he would be in danger.
Right. So these are two different times. So the time when the Christians were destroying the pagan things would have been more around the 4th century.
Okay.
And the time when the Muslims came in and were destroying the Christian things was around the 9th century. So two different occurrences.
So they switched him once, and then when the Muslims were coming through, then they thought we got to protect St. Mark, which is actually possibly Alexander, and that's why they took him to Venice.
Right.
Okay.
And we'll never know. For one thing, if you wanted to poke holes in his theory, they lost track of Alexander's body very soon after he died. It's a very sketchy trail, and they don't even know if he ever did end up in Alexandria.
Okay.
A lot of all we can do when it's that far back is come up with our best guesses. And then another thing is whoever's body was brought to Venice, thinking it was St. Mark. Sadly, the body might have been lost in the fire of 976 when the basilica burned.
Mm.
So, how much of a body is even there? And I think that he's even pushing to have the
This was in
remains.
Venice.
I'm sorry. Yes,
You're talking about in Venice.
the first
What happened there?
basilica
Okay.
burned down in 976.
Okay.
What we know,
All
the
right.
1094 basilica is the new basilica.
Okay, so he might have
Yeah,
been
and there's
charged.
a whole story that when the new basilica was finished, they couldn't find Mark. They had lost Mark, and that there
Really?
was a big prayer vigil, and I think there's maybe like an earthquake or something, and all of a sudden, one of the great pillars split open, and I think like his arm flopped out or something, and they were like, "Oh, we found him." So, and that's some lore that's come down, but the thought is maybe the body was lost in that fire. So
Yeah.
who
Okay.
knows? Who knows?
Well, have they opened the crypt or not the crypt, but I guess his what is he called, an ossuary or something, where his relics might be, to see are there bones in there, and you know
Not that I think it's
didn't they
pretty.
recently do that with in St. Peter's Basilica? I think that they went down and they confirmed there are bones, and
Yeah.
I don't know if the bones or just the items with the bones are from like the first century or something like that. Like,
hmm Yeah, I think St. Peter's is a pretty good chance that it is Peter. I mean,
yeah,
in my belief. Um,
right.
with Mark, I don't know, and they may never know unless this guy can really pull a lot of strings and get it exhumed, but I don't see that happening. But, to me, that's not, I don't think that that's going to take away any specialness. People who want to venerate St. Mark, they don't necessarily need his physical body. I know that the tangible connection with a saint is very important in some religions, and I understand that. But I think it's still a beautiful holy place. It's still a
Yeah.
holy place to some people. To some people, it's a very beautiful place. But yeah, but I don't. We may not ever know the truth, but it's intriguing. It's really
Yeah.
an intriguing theory.
I've got a feeling the church is not going to allow for testing of the bones or anything, because it would be bad news if it said it's not St. Mark, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if you covered, if I have anything else. One of the arguments against that being Alexander the Great's body, they're just saying, like, just because that stone is at the church doesn't mean it came with a body. Like, you showed us last week, so much of what's at the church was plunder from other churches or things like that, and they very easily could have been in Alexandria and been like, "Hey, we're bringing back this cool stone."
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good point, because the Venetians, they just brought back stuff that was here and there, fragments of things. It could have already been in fragments when they picked it up, wherever they picked it up, and it was not found immediately near the body at the basilica. It was just found down there while they were excavating. So yeah,
Right.
another good point.
So Hunter is saying it's amazing to see how well these type of buildings and the arts, second one, the art inside have been preserved. Would a climate-controlled environment improve preservation or decrease it? Are many of these types of buildings converted to climate-controlled specifically to preserve the artwork inside? Immediately, I think of in Milano, to go see The Last Supper. You have to go through like an antechamber, and they change out the air, and then you go inside, and you only have so much time. And
Yeah.
so, but in here, it's just open. It's right there on the ocean. You can walk in. What are they doing to preserve, or why does this not meet that type of?
So one reason, because this is not a typical church. We expect to see a lot of frescoes in churches of this age. We expect to see a lot of paintings, but Venice knew it had a lot of humidity, and that frescoes wouldn't stand up under the damp. Paintings wouldn't stand up under the damp. So mosaics were an intentional choice for that reason and others. So the humidity is not as big of a factor. And interestingly, the floors in the basilica kind of undulate like this, which is maybe because of the settling, because of moisture. But in Venetian lore, there's an answer for everything, in Venetian lore, that this was intentional to mimic the movement of the waters, since Venice sits upon the waters, and Venice has always seen itself as divinely rescued by God and set upon the waters and surviving upon the waters. And so they say, hey, that was intentional. That, yeah.
That's convenient for the masons that laid the floor. Like, yeah, I meant to do that. It's supposed to be like that. That's great. Well, listen, folks, if you have any other questions, please drop them below. I know just a few of you have joined back with us. Shelley, I want to say thank you so much. This has been such a great series. I've learned so much. I know a lot of people have. I'm really grateful for you doing this series with me. And we're going to see you again, correct? You are going to come back and share other things with us in the future. So
okay.
If you enjoyed Shelley, she's got a lot more to share with us. I'm looking forward to that. One thing I do want to show you guys for next week, we are continuing on. And let me see if I can get my slide here. We have Culture Explorer joining us next week, March 11th at 7 p.m. That is going to be a fantastic and really interesting show. So I hope you guys would join us then. But for tonight, Shelley, thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. And again, people, go to the post. You'll see Shelley's handle. Go to her page and follow her, and then DM her with any questions, anything for travel. She's so nice. If you got any kind of question, she's going to work with you. So interact with her. She's a great lady. So thank you, everybody, and good night. And Simplify Life says, well done. And I agree. Well done, Shelley. Thank you very much. Thank you, Simplify Life.
Thank you.
And have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.